So they're like, you got the story in Toronto? I'm like, he said, but you wrote it in Boston. I'm like, yeah, I wrote it in Boston, but where I got tipped off on it was in Toronto. So that's what I think is the benefit of being on the road. And I think that a lot of companies don't understand the benefit of being on the road. And I know we're delving into probably other places with this, but I think that's sort of the benefit of being on the road, is that you can get people a little bit more outside their comfort zone, a little bit more. There's not as many cameras, and you get to know players a little bit more. But obviously, it's changed a little bit because with clubhouse times now they have, during like hitters meetings or whatever like that. So it's a little tougher, but you still do get some benefits.
Yeah, certainly, man. And it's a big thing about, seeing that relationship with you and the players, because there's a respect factor there because they see you on the road. They see you essentially a part of the same schedule that they have. So I think there's
Mhm.
some mutual respect there when, you're there on the road, and not just a single road trip, but as you said, like several different ones. You don't just kind of,
Mhm.
pick one and then leave, but being able to have that over the course of a season. And like I feel the same way exactly. Like it's a lot less press on the road, and you get a lot of the local media coming in and just being there for a specific story or for a specific instance,
Like,
and you
like
kind
for
of get.
instance, like I mean to cut you off, but look how much I even see your
But
interaction
you,
with Cora.
but you did though. You did
In
though.
the
No, I'm
beginning,
just
there was
going.
a little icy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. In the
No,
beginning, it
go
was a little
ahead. You got
icy.
the floor.
He's a little curt. He was a little short, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
over the course of being able to meet this manager and him getting to see the nuances of how you operate, the little quirks and
Yeah.
crannies that you have, and being able to draw on those things, probably being able to draw on having kids, all that stuff, just conversations, it
Yeah.
helps you.
I definitely think so. And as it relates to our relationship, me and AC, it's definitely grown over the years. I think because of that, and just like having a respect for my curiosity. Like I know that I don't know everything. Like he knows more baseball than I do, but being curious about different things in the game, I think he enjoys being able to teach those things in his answers, right? And then like just having random conversations with him as well, it kind of builds on that. So I think that's what kind of got our relationship to what it was, because at first it's just like, I'm the manager and I know what I'm talking about, but like having a mutual interest, or feeling like, like the other day actually, it was a while ago, a couple months ago, earlier in the season, where um one of the catchers got hurt, and um then Connor Wong had to be entered into the game. I think it was Reese McGuire hurt his finger or something early on the team when he was on the squad. So down to one
Okay.
catcher, and Connor Wong was in there, and he got like smoked with the ball at one instance in his leg, but he didn't have to come out of the game. But it was a question of like, wow, like I remember guys on the telecast like, man, if I don't know if Connor could stay in because of this situation. So it
Hmm.
was almost to a point where they had to probably have to go to a third catcher, not having one positionally on the roster. I wondered who they would go to. So I just kind of pulled him to the side. I was like, hey, Alex, man, like if Connor had gotten hurt, like who would you guys have gone to as a third catcher? Because Reese was already out of the game with the injury, so he was pulled. Connor was in there, but he was kind of grinding through it. So who would have been that
Hmm.
guy? And he said it would have been Romy Gonzalez. So I remember earlier in the year, he told me, he's like, Romy could play every position on the field except pitcher and catcher. But in this instance, because of his athleticism and because he had caught like in high school or something, they
Yeah.
would have had to lean on that experience. But it's just kind of crazy. And it was just like he was super happy to kind of explain the scenarios and the things that were kind of going through his head. So I think that also, piqued the curiosity, knowing that I'm not just a pretty face on television. You know what I mean? I come here actually with some questions and insight and wanted to know about the game. Um, so I think that kind of made the relationship grow over the years since he's gotten here. But um, you mentioned something on the road earlier too, and it was funny because I wonder if this happens to you. Like it was a period yesterday where for a moment there in the morning clubhouse, maybe it's because it's morning clubhouse and you're a little more foggy than usual, but for a moment there, I looked up and forgot what city I was in. Like I was like, where are we? Where are we playing right now? And that happens especially late in the year, but sometimes even early when you go through a period like we're just coming off of where you play, you know,
Hmm.
16 out of 18 games straight or something like that, and you're just in different cities and
Hmm.
you're going back and forth. So how much does the fall kind of get to you, and how are you able to relock back in to focus yourself?
I haven't had it in a clubhouse, but I've definitely had it like when I woke up somewhere, and it takes me like a couple of minutes to be able to figure out like exactly where I'm at. Like it's like, okay, am I in Houston, Detroit, Philly? Like and then probably after like 10, 15 seconds, I'm, I landed here last night in Baltimore, right? I think for me, what helps me lock back in, man, is just the job, like just the like baseball itself. The minute the game starts for me, it's like all the focus goes there, and I think for me, that's just how I've always been with baseball. I could always said that there was the one sport, say like my high school sweetheart dumped me, or the one thing it was like, and I'm brokenhearted. I can't eat, can't sleep. The minute I saw a fastball come in, like in high school or college, I'm like, boom, okay, I'm locked. I gotta look. I gotta try to figure out how to get a hit here, right? And then I had to go back to being sad after that. So it's the same thing with just being able on the road. It's like, okay, like I'm groggy. I don't really feel myself. I don't really feel I can get through the day, or I need extra coffee. I feel tired. But the first time when I see the first pitch go through, I'm like, okay, I'm locked in. So that brings me back to center. The game always brings me back to center. All the other stuff, you have to deal with it as it comes, right? Family situations, kids sick at daycare and you're not there. All those different things. It's hard, but I think the game itself and in the job itself, like my wife, she's a principal. I think the minute she walks in that school and she's getting crap from those kids, it's like, okay, I gotta lock it right now. I can't worry about what Julian did at home and the fact that he didn't have, Peyton's peanut butter and jelly ready. I'll deal with that later. But this kid just try to throw a rock at this kid, like he or called him a name or something like. Or I'm dealing with these parents, right? There's different things that you're dealing with that happen that sort of lock you back into the focus. And I think for me, it's just like seeing that first pitch is always important. That's why I try never to miss first pitch, no matter what I got to
Yeah.
do. Like I can miss a second pitch, but the first pitch for me is what establishes the day.
Wow, that's interesting to hear your routine like that too. I think for me, it's like the moment I go down to the field and I'm dapping up the coaches, and then I'm getting ready to do that first report. It's like, all right, here we go. Like it's game time again. You kind of get re-energized for the game that night. So that helps me out.